Thank you for staying with us again on the program. We just want to get talking political now on TMI this Thursday morning. We can't talk enough about the 2019 general election because every other day, literally every other day, issues continue to emerge along the line of the general election. And the best we can do, particularly on a program like this, is to beat these issues into proper perspectives. And to do that, we bring on the program people who understand these issues and who are key players and stakeholders within the political space. I'm joined this morning, incidentally, by someone who's a politician, Honorable Ima Iyaoyuwa. That's the bit tongue twisting, so I had to slow down a little to get it right. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you, my good brother.
You are a politician, and I'm very sure you've seen how politics has been played in this country across board, party or political parties not withstanding. But let's pay a little more attention to the 2015 general election. Some persons are beginning to express the concern, I don't want to say fear, that some of the anomalies we had seen during the 2015 election will also play out in the 2019 general election. Do you share any part of that sentiment?
Well, thank you, my good brother. In any case, I want to start that party primaries have been held.
Obviously.
Candidates have been merged under the platform of different political parties. And just about 4 or 5 days back, precisely on the 18th, on Sunday, Independent Electoral Commission lifted the ban on public campaigns. That goes to show that the stage is now set for the 2019 elections. Now, parties will be going out to unfold what they have in stock for the Nigeria populace, so that if they come to power, if they fail in their electionary promises, they will be held responsible. So all political parties now, first thing is to sensitize their members as they are going out to eschew violence. All political parties should sensitize their members to avoid defamatory and inflammatory statements against their opponents, as that would tend to heighten the political tension.
Right.
We have no other country. I'm proud to be in Nigeria. So we should all gather collectively to do our best to make sure we raise this country above the position that we find it today.
I think that's one irony we will try as much as we can to wrap our heads around on this program, because on the one hand, you hear politicians, party people like yourself, say, we've talked to our people to eschew violence, to have a violence-free process, and we're going into the election proper, and so on and so forth. And then on the other hand, you see people wreaking violence, you see people getting violent in the process, before, during, and after. And these people represent different political parties. How do we address that dichotomy?
Yes, in correcting that anomaly, the job shouldn't just be for that of politicians.
Okay.
The security agencies, INEC itself, National Orientation Agency, and the real politicians who are stakeholders in this system, they all have roles to play. Let me go further to explain. The security agencies should try and raise up to their responsibility now to be able to secure the lives of the voters before, during, and after the elections. Because in a situation whereby the law enforcement agencies now relax, we should expect what you have just said. There will be tension all over the place because there's no body to checkmate the excesses of those people who may be taken as thugs that will work for the politicians during the election time. The National Orientation Agency, they have a part to play. They shouldn't just sit in the office and be enjoying air condition. Those days when the issue of politics was actually very serious, we do see National Orientation Agency mounting that big megaphone on top of their vehicle.
And going around.
Going around places, go from churches to mosque, to market, to the communities in the hinterland. Telling our people that it is mandatory as a Nigerian to have a voter's card. They should tell people that voter's card is more or less like a national identity. You use it for so many other things. Even when you don't even want to vote, but get it. That is the job of the National
You just talked
Agency.
about how that when politics was serious.
Yeah.
It appears it's no longer serious.
Why I say it was serious those days that you don't see the type of things that are happening now.
So things have changed.
Yeah, things have changed actually. Because when you are contesting the election in the olden days, in the past days or years, what you do is that every night you go from one place to another soliciting for assistance on the election. We call that one mosquito campaign. But these days, people that are contesting elections just relax and have all what it takes on the electorates that is going to vote for them. Oh, these are my people, they do that. No! You should be able to go out, tell your people what you have in stock, what you'll be able to offer when you get to that power. The era of sharing salt, rice, and whatever it is over. We have moved towards that, we have moved above that level. And again, we, the electorates, we still have a part to play. If somebody gives you money to vote for him or her, refuse, irrespective of what is the present situation we have in Nigeria. Because by the time you sell your votes, there are many things behind it. First, you have sold yourself, you have sold your children, you have sold your children's lives to that politician. And mind you, you cannot eat your cake and have it. By the time you sell your vote to a politician, if he gets there, we definitely want to get the money. And you have no right to challenge.
I think the economy is biting hard enough for people to just want to eat the proverbial cake,
yes,
and not caring whether they're going to have it or not.
Yes, that is not an issue that can be overtaken overnight. The government has a part to play, both at the federal, local, and states.
Definitely.
You can see that our TMI youths are no longer interested in farming. But in those days, when you have enough of food, there were farmers all over the place. You can even imagine when we used to have granite pyramids in the north, cocoa in the west, and palm tree in the east. People were satisfied. They had enough for themselves. I could remember when I was growing, there used to be Ekpoma rice. Almost every home was having that rice until the advent of the weaver bed that now sent many farmers out of rice farming issue. You have rice, I have. I will not come to you and buy. And by the time you have and I have, the food will be cheap in the market. Nobody is interested in farming. I am a farmer. As I'm telling you, you may not believe, I'm a farmer. I go to farm. I get the report I to take freely, I don't buy. So self-sufficiency is one of those things that the government should put in place to checkmate all these excesses in the society.
Let me bring you home now. Just as Sunday, as you said, I mean, the INEC has obviously lifted the ban on a campaign. And of course, on Sunday, the flag bearers of the PDP and the APC, these are two major political parties, of course, unveiled their agendas for Nigeria going into the election. Then, as I said, bringing you home now, President Muhammadu Buhari, who is the flag bearer of the APC, your party, I said he's tagging his campaign the next level. And that sounds great. He's made a lot of promises.
Okay.
And then he has talked about schools in particular, for example, how that at least 10,000 schools will be built and renovated on a yearly basis, and so on and so forth. People have said if his government couldn't accomplish that much in the first term, what is the guarantee it will be possible if and when he is re-elected in 2019? How do we address that issue?
You see, my brother, let's remove sentiments aside. Okay. Because we are speaking and people are watching.
Yes.
The major problem we have sometimes is that we tend to forget things easily. When Buhari captioned his agenda as next level, I praise that effort for a reason. If you can quickly remember, before 2015, when Buhari took over the mantle of leadership as president of Nigeria, the Boko Haram were taking care of 27 local government areas. They hoisted their flags. 27, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. But by today, Mr. Uyi, as I speak with you on this studio, I have not heard that one particular community has been taken over by Boko Haram and hosted their flag. If you know of any, tell me. I stand to be corrected. That is on one side. Because that man has tried in terms of security. You can even imagine at a point, ceremony was going on at National Stadium Abuja. A ceremony that the president was in attendance. Boko Haram bombed some meters to the place. You are aware. So it is possible that if this man had not come, maybe by now, you and I would not have been sitting comfortably in this studio. They would have just taken up Aso Rock in Abuja. But today, good or bad, I think to an extent, Buhari should be praised for his efforts. That is on one side. Then issue of corruption. I see that man, that is someone that has conscience. By today, you see Buhari being invited by world leaders. That's going to show that they have confidence in this man. Corruption has been the bane of the Nigeria problem. It has been the cankerworm that has eaten deep into the fabric of this country. And for someone to come up and take the bull by the horn to fight corruption, it should be given a pass mark. I know it cannot be done completely, as our people may want it to be. But Rome was not built in a day. Buhari has sent a message, not only to Nigerians, but to the whole world, that it is not easy in Nigeria to go to any, whether elective or civil service positions, and get there and begin to serve as a drain pipe to siphon Nigeria's money. There's apathy in everywhere you go now. There was a place I was trying to get some files. In the past, when I used to go there, what they tell me is that, you go wash my hand. I said, I didn't bring soap. Not even sponge. So they were laughing. They said, you know what we mean now? In the past. But just a few days or a few months, let me just say a few months, I went to a similar office. After all the efforts in meeting what I demanded, I put my hands in the pocket. I want to give him 500. He said, no, you want the EFCC and ICPC to go after? I said, it's my money. It's not government's money. You didn't ask me. I am giving it to you to complement that effort, to appreciate you for what you have done. Because you put a lot of money, energy into that issue before I'm able to get it over. That's what I'm, just to appreciate you. You receive every month. That one is a good message that this man has sent to the whole world. Buhari has been tested. Atiku has been tested equally. When I heard what His Excellency Atiku Abubakar strayed for Nigerians if he eventually is voted to power, I was wondering, I said, why didn't this man sell all these ideas to Obasanjo when he was there? Or did he decide to hide all these goodies awaiting when he will be voted as a president? Already, he was one of those in shadow of leadership in Nigeria between 1999, at least for 2 tenures, 8 years. So he was elected along with President Obasanjo to correct all the anomalies that may arise. At every point, they are taking resolutions on national issues. So, my brother, politicians, I am a politician, to the core, they have sugar-coated tongue.
Including
me, that is speaking. I'm a politician.
So what should Nigerians learn from that? They are sugar.
Yes, that is what I'm saying now. That in the first case,
yes,
let them get their PVCs.
Okay.
That is the passport with which they can cross to a good government.
Okay.
Let everybody go. Whoever that has registered should go and collect his or her cards and get it ready for the election.
There's another thing that Nigerians are concerned about. Every other election cycle, the same issues are propounded as basis for campaign. We're going to build you good roads, we're going to build you schools, we're going to revamp the health sector, we're going to ensure we improve on education, and so on and so forth. The same old story every other 4 years. How do we abolish that tradition?
Well, like as I said earlier, Rome was not built in a day.
But is it not taking too long to build this road?
I'm coming, sir. If you judge Nigeria, the age of Nigeria today in democracy, and liken it to the number of years they've put in democracy in the United States of America, 200-something years, we've not just gone anywhere. But at least I can see that many of those things that used to be absurd during the election, many of them are almost wiping away, like snatching of ballot boxes during the elections. That used to be a jamboree of those days.
So we don't have that happen anymore?
Even if we have, but not as it was in the past. I'm telling you this because I am inside the game. That one is gradually eroding. People are already sensitized to that level that we must get things right. You don't expect Ghana to come to Nigeria and build Nigeria for us. You don't expect somebody from Cameroon to come here and build Nigeria for us. Everyone, you and I, we 100% we own Nigeria. So we should all be here to make sure we do contribute our quota to make this country a great country, as it is called Giant of Africa. Look, this is God's own country. God loves Nigeria. We have natural and human resources in abundance. But because of self-centeredness, because of selfishness on the part of some people, not all, who may have the opportunity to go to positions. But our prayer is God that made heaven and earth should choose the best candidate during the election in 2019. But I must say, I must not forget to let you understand this. If in 3 years, I'm not here to campaign, but I told you already that we should remove settlements. If in 3.5 years, the Boko Haram insurgency that has terrorized this country, disturbed the peace of this country, to understand they are now pushed to a tight corner, somebody that did it should be commended. Then, corruption. Do you know what is meant by corruption? I think corruption is more deadly than cancer. Because that money is for you. The money is for me. Then one person, because he had the opportunity to be in a position, begin to sanford the money.
Now that you've brought about the issue of corruption, let me help you expand the narrative a little. Okay. I'm sure you are aware a lot of persons are extremely uncomfortable with what they perceive as President Muhammadu Buhari's position on anti-graft, which they say makes it tilt in a certain direction. That is one-sided. That has always been the term, one-sided. What do you say to such people?
I don't agree. Why I don't agree is that, are you not aware of an APC person that was imprisoned, still in the prison as you talk here? Are you not aware? I will not mention because we're in the public. 2 of them. So the issue, look, let me let you understand.
Would you say that's a drop of water in the sea?
No. You see, like as I said, it is not possible to fix this country in 3.5 years. But gradually, we can see some development, positive developments on the side of Buhari. So when he said next level, yes, he has taken off from level of corruption, because Nigeria was tagged one of the most corrupt countries in the whole world. You are aware? But by today,
are we doing better in the ranking?
Excuse me, sir. Yes. If we are not doing better, do you think the world, all those world power leaders would have been inviting him to various seminars, programs, and every other things? You know, those people, what they believe in, they hate oppression. They don't want oppression. When anybody that oppresses is their enemy. So they know that Buhari has come to put Nigeria on the right path in terms of economy, in terms of security. You are aware that before that 2015, money was earmarked to fight Boko Haram, but the money was shared. Boko Haram, they were killing our people like killing animals in the bush, because they were giving outdated and crude weapons to fight Boko Haram, who were heavily working with sophisticated weapons. But when Buhari now came, you are aware that some of those soldiers who refused to fight in the war because they were not having the proper weapon to face Buhari, to face Boko Haram insurgency, they withdrew. And those people were tried by the military. And some of them were kept in custody. But when Buhari came, he called them. You cannot blame these people. The money that was meant to give them the correct weapons to face these people were shared among Nigerians. And you want these people to go and use their chest to be receiving hot bullets? He revisited that matter. You are aware. And some of them were released. So let Nigeria not forget that in spite that Buhari has not been able to meet all, but to an extent, an effort has started. So we shall begin to move. That's why I love that word, next level. He has taken up from the level of Boko Haram, almost taken up Aso Rock, to another level that we will not even be hearing of Boko Haram in Nigeria again.
As a Nigerian, politician and party man, how much does it bother you when you hear about cases of voter inducement?
Yes. You see, I can say that the rate of poverty in Nigeria today is high. It is not the government alone that is responsible.
Who else?
As I said earlier, the youth have refused to go to the land.
So we would rather blame the youth for this?
We have to blame the youth for it. Some of them, in fact, without prejudice, some of them who are hardworking. But I want to let you understand that when this backriding came to Benin, that was when you see the exodus of youth coming to Benin, when they just, maybe in 1 or 2 years, they're able to make Gari farm, and is able to give them one bike. They come to Benin, rent a house, and they begin to use that bike to pay house rent. It's not possible. How much are you getting? That you feed yourself, feed the family, maybe you have children that go to school. So when these youths were in the village that time, that was what I said it before. I said there was sufficiency in food, and things were cheap. So I still want to encourage the youth that there's nothing that is more better than farming, and I equally want to encourage the government to go into agriculture, because in agriculture you will have enough of food, you will have enough of money, and you have enough of employment. So if the government, I think I want to praise the effort of our governor here, Obaseki. I can see him laying emphasis in that direction. I equally want to commend the president of Nigeria today. That he started with agriculture. So my advice is that the president, the governor, and even the local government chairman, they should try as much as possible to provide incentives to encourage these youth to go to the land. By the time we have surplus of food, definitely the food will be cheap. If you have farm, I have farm. I produce gari, you produce gari. I will come and buy from you. You will buy from me. And if you and I take that gari to the market, we meet those who equally still have that gari. It becomes cheap. When things are surplus, it becomes cheap. When they are scarce, they are expensive.
But I know we didn't come here to talk about agriculture, but let's quickly see how we can correct something. I've spoken with people who are key players in the sector, I mean in the agri sector. And they've said that when we say people should go to the farm, it is too ambiguous and unrealistic. That everybody can go to the farm, that's on the one hand. And then on the other hand, we need to expand the value chain in such a way that everybody doesn't go to the farm. But ultimately, everybody becomes a part of that chain. So yours could just be packaging. So you don't care what happens on the farm. But somewhere in the middle of the chain, you're packaging. Then somebody is doing logistics, whatever it is. But all will be part of the value chain.
Yes.
But it will appear the government is not seen from that perspective, because what we still have as far as the agri sector is concerned essentially is you bring bags of fertilizer and then you distribute. And of course, we also understand, for instance, that politicians in some cases use that as an element to influence or induce voters. Exactly, which is not supposed to be the goal. And then government gives out loans, whether they are huge, whether they are small or micro, to people who supposedly are farmers. And it turns out these people are not farmers. They don't even know a jack about farming. Yet this money is going to their pockets. That's a drain pipe now. That's the reason we're not seeing the expected results in all of these investments. Because, for instance, the CBN has what it calls the Anchor Borrowers Program. A lot of persons have lauded it. Others have criticized this initiative. In fact, they have even propounded so much about that initiative, why the CBN missed it in some areas. But overall, the point is government has a lot of work to do in agriculture.
Exactly.
But let's talk about money bag politicking in this country. They say prosecuting campaigns is quite expensive, it's capital intensive. Is it ever possible at any point in time to cut down on cost of funding electioneering in Nigeria?
My good brother Uyi, it is not possible. Why it is not possible is that we are moving with time.
Okay.
The prevailing situation that we are today in this country, things are expensive. Not only politics. And if you are a politician, you want to contest election, the first thing you should look back to is what you have in terms of money. If you don't have money, because to start with, if you contest any primary in your party, and after that you become a candidate, there are things you should put in place. You must print cap, you must print vests, you must print posters, and all this entails money. You must buy party nomination form, because that party under which you are contesting has some financial concerns.
So you have to prosecute. You have to transfer the burden, your financial burden, to those who have ambition within the party.
No, let me. What I'm trying to let you know is the same. It cuts across.
But does it make it right that it cuts across?
That is what I'm telling you. That politics is expensive. Is the prevailing period we find ourselves. It's not only politics that's costly. Everything is costly. Not only politics. So if every other things were cheap, then politics would have been cheap. Because everything in the country today are expensive. Politics needs to be expensive too. Because one other thing is that politicians even contributed to making politics costly or expensive. Why do I say so? Those in the past who assumed these leadership positions, their activity in the office that they were minding as at that particular time. Is that right?
Go ahead.
Okay. So since they created that avenue, that if you go to government, the next thing is to grab for yourself, for your wife, for your family, for your wife's family, for the children yet unborn. So those who are now following, who are supposed to change that method of anybody in government, because it's a wrong method of administration. What they will say is, Peter was there. It took enough of money. Even if you are elected local government chairman, for example, and you don't want to embezzle government's money, your own brother or your sister will come and tell you, what are you waiting for? If you leave this position, you become poorer.
And this is your turn.
This is just an opportunity for you to have your share from the government's cake. So there is no way politics can be cheap any longer in Nigeria. If you don't have money, don't just come out.
Let's talk about...
Except, excuse me, sir, except when there is a legislation for private candidates.
Independent candidates.
Independent candidates, that's what I wanted to say, which is not in place now. So I believe when issue of independent candidacy is part of our system here, then I see it that the rate of which the politicians spend their money, particularly to reference to that particular independent candidate, will be less. Because he will present himself and say, look, I'm not under any political party. If I win that election, I'm not under any leader or any forces that may want to influence my interest in the government. I'm alone. If you vote for me, it is only you, the voters, I will see. So vote for me. I don't have money. Just give me that mandate, but I will come back and pay you for it. You will enjoy the dividends of democracy. But if you survive under a political party, let me let you understand that before anybody emerges as a candidate of any political party, he or she must have somebody behind him, political leader. If you don't have a leader in politics, you will be laboring like elephant and be eating like ant. So the issue of leadership plays a very big role in making politics an expensive game. Because if you don't have money and a leader sponsored you, maybe the leader now uses his own money, his own finance to put you, to influence other people to put you in that position. Are you not going to pay for him?
He needs to get return on investment.
He will get his own, and you even want to get your own. By the time that one is in place, the government money is going.
Let's talk about all-inclusive process and participation by youth. Do you think young people are doing enough to change the narrative as far as the political space is concerned in this country?
Well, recently, I think I can say that there is a significant improvement on the part of the youths.
Okay.
Those days, policies used to be for those that are elderly. But the pace at which the youth now embrace politics is a commendable one. Because we have it in Miniadi that Odionwa or Wuhanwa.
What does that mean in English?
Yes, the elderly are wise. The young ones equally are wise. There are situations whereby the way the elderly may reason, the young one will reason even more than that. Particularly in the era we are. We have moved from analog era to digital era. So our youth today are, in fact, they have the acumen. They have that political acumen to be fitted into Nigeria position, any of the Nigeria positions. So it is my appeal, therefore, that the elderly who have been in the circle should equally try as much as possible to allow some spaces for the youth to come in. Because the youth, they are like a new wine in an old bottle. So I want to encourage the youth to come out more than what they are doing now.
I've spoken with some politicians on and off television, and they've told me it's not realistic to not have godfatherism in politics, especially in a country like ours. Some people have argued that godfatherism is a blessing. Others say it's a curse.
Yes.
What's your position?
I think the question is of is like that of a coin.
With two sides.
With two sides. Now, you can't judge all the leaders that maybe they influence whoever that is led to the position of a leader. So if you are a leader and you know you want to make sure you have a need to protect whoever you are leading to a position, it is the right thing to let him understand, look, oh, I'm behind you. Everybody knows I'm behind you. Don't go there and fuck me up.
Sorry, that word is, I mean, is foul. I think maybe the word you wanted to use was disappoint me.
Okay, disappoint me. Okay, it's all right, it's all right. So that is, don't disappoint me when you get there.
Right. Because
that is the only way you will help me to hold my integrity in place.
But we have leaders who do that.
My brother, well, it's like 10 out of 100. I must be sincere with you.
And that's almost insignificant.
Yes. You can hardly survive without a leader in politics. This is my game. So, but whereby, I think I want to blame the followers to some extent in this angle that you have just brought in. It is high time politicians should look properly on the best path to take to assuming a political position. If you see a leader that is trying to be self-centered, you are the one that is there. I don't want to mention name. There was a governor in the state. I was a member of executive of a local government in one party in the past. The governor invited all of us to Ogbe Stadium. He told us that we should not be annoyed that he is prepared to leave this position as a governor because of the interest, the forces that are making him to spend do money for them. He said he's a learned man. He cannot condescend so low to accepting such order. That we should bear with him whatever that comes out of that his action, because he has integrity to maintain. And I respect that man. Actually, he left that position.
Does Nigeria as a country respect people like that?
The problem is that we don't, in fact, to an extent, Nigerians don't, let me say, if somebody does good and you see that good in him or her, and there's every reason to praise him, just praise without looking back.
Party affiliation notwithstanding.
That's what I'm telling you.
Right.
It's like you, Agmofugba, I see that you have done some good to me. I must appreciate you. If somebody does anything to you to lift you above certain level, to a level of recognition, you must appreciate that person, because those who appreciate are noble.
In 2 minutes, tell me quickly, what do we do to correct dysfunction, as we have come to see in recent years, within political parties, what they call internal politics? What do we do to get it right internally within parties?
But that one is not a word that we fought overnight, because it's like you and I in the same party. You contest the election, I contest the election. We were friends before we contested.
Right.
By the time we contest the election, we have automatically become enemies.
Because one person has emerged.
I'm telling you, even before the emergence, before the past primary that took place in all the parties, two friends can say, we want to contest. But because this one is contesting, this one is contesting, there will be some disagreement. There will definitely be, because it's like, I'm contesting, my friend is contesting. You are supposed to support your friend.
Right.
By the time you contest and I contest, we have two different interests. And there's bound to be some, that interest must brew some dislike between the two persons. So my advice is that the best thing that leaders, because a local government chairman, national chairman of any political party, what chairman of any political, they are leaders in their own right. They should always make sure that whenever there is time to choose their candidates, there should be an in-house workings before it gets to the populace. Because that is the only way people will have confidence in that party. By the time you fight outside, what you're supposed to fight within, you now fight outside, then some people begin to raise an eyebrow.
And that doesn't serve the best interest of the party, does it?
It doesn't. It doesn't. As we are now, even the past primaries that took place, you are aware that some matters are in court. If there was an agreement, I don't believe anybody will go to court.
Of course. I think this is where we're just going to leave this discussion this morning.
Thank you very
I've
much.
been talking with Honorable Ima Iyaoyuwa, is a politician based here in Benin. He's been helping us create perspectives on issues, not just around the 2019 general election, but politicking overall in this country. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
Thank
we
you
hope
very
you
much.
enjoy the rest of your day. I will just take another break. When we'll come back, we'll conclude on the program. Do stay with us.